You're watching CBS7 News at 9 on the CW and live on the CBS7 YouTube channel with Alexandra, Macia, and Tom Teeper-Teller.
We look up to Curbside Bistro. I've said it before. You know, he's a great friend of mine, and I saw where he first started with the food truck, and then look at him now. You know, he's got 2 restaurants. So that's the ultimate goal.
It's Hispanic Heritage Month. Coming up in just a few minutes, we hear more from a local food truck owner who is bringing the culinary style of Ciudad Juarez, Mexico to West Texas. Good evening and thanks for joining us for CBS7 News on the CW, and thanks for joining us live on the CBS7 YouTube. I'm Alexandra, Macia, and we start tonight tracking crime. 3 people have been arrested in Reeves County for various child abuse charges. Arizona Rooney and her boyfriend Jacob Cantrell were charged with injury to a child, abandoning or endangering a child, and unlawful restraint, with bonds totaling $250,000. Arizona Rooney's mother was charged with injury to a child and posted bond. Reeves County Sheriff's Office reports a child in their custody was being kept in a zip-tied dog kennel with no food or proper way to go to the bathroom. Deputies report the room the child was being kept in was also about 94 degrees, while other places in the RV were air-conditioned. The child was taken to the hospital and found to be malnourished and nonverbal, but there were no signs of physical or sexual abuse. The child is in stable condition and is in state custody. And an Odessa man pled guilty to possessing methamphetamine with intent to deliver it. 23-year-old Angel Vargas Valdivia was entering the U.S. through Presidio in August. Customs and Border Protection X-ray scans showed the car had anomalies. When those anomalies were investigated, CPB found 154 bundles of meth, or 159 pounds. According to the U.S. District Attorney's Office, Vargas could spend up to 10 years in prison. And earlier this afternoon, crews were working to repair 2 water main breaks. One at Community Lane and North Garfield Street. As of 5:15, the main water breaks have been repaired and water has been restored to both locations. Water is out at San Jacinto Junior High because of the break, but it is expected to be back before class tomorrow morning. And Halloween is all about giving a good scare. But what if those scares could give back? That's exactly what one West Texan plans in doing. For the last 2 years, Heather Quarford has been giving West Texans a show with her Nightmare Before Christmas setup. And the reason that Heather puts so much effort into this work is the Skeletons for St. Jude fundraiser. Back in 2012, Heather's grandma died from cancer, so she honors her and gives back to the community by decorating her house.
And I wanted to give back in some method, some form to the community because she loved kids. She loved helping the community. So I figured this would be the best route for me because I love Halloween, and helping with cancer in general would just be the best thing for our family.
Featured on Heather's lawn is the cast from Nightmare Before Christmas. It includes characters like Jack, Dr. Finkelstein, everyone's favorite ghost, Dog Zero, Oogie Boogie, Sally, and the gang of Lock, Shock, and Barrel. And it's time to take a look at weather. Chief Meteorologist Tom Teeper-Teller is here to tell us what we can expect. Tom.
Well, changes are on the way, but they're going to hold off until after the weekend. Let's take a look at the radar satellite view. Not a lot going on. There are a couple of clouds moving across West Texas at the present time, but that's really about it. It was another hot one today. We saw temperatures up to 93 out at the Midland National Air and Spaceport, 95 in Odessa, nearing 100 in Pecos, and down towards Presidio. Terlingua was up to 103 a little bit earlier. Looking at the tall city skyline, we're seeing temperatures right now into the mid-80s out there this evening. So still on the warm side in many locations and hanging on to those 90s right along the Rio Grande. But again, changes are on the way. We're going to start to see high pressure drift away late this weekend. A cool front's going to roll in. Middle part of next week, it's going to put some showers and some milder temperatures, more fall-like temperatures in our forecast.
Thanks, Tom. Today was our Peanut Butter Brigade. We were live from 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. in the Music City Mall parking lot accepting donations. The West Texas Food Bank says these donations were needed more than ever as inflation gets worse.
So we cover 19 counties and 34,000 square miles. And so this peanut butter is such a great shelf-stable item to have in a pantry because it has so much protein in it. If you need this for crackers, apples, whatever.
Peanut butter can feed many West Texans in need. A big contributor to our food drive both this year and last year is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They donated 20,000 pounds of peanut butter or 17,280 jars.
Community that we're in, we want to try and help as much as we can, whether it be here or other nonprofits. There's a huge need everywhere.
This is our third year doing the Peanut Butter Brigade during Hunger Action Month.
Love Hunger Action Month because that's where we really see people come in, the whole community, small businesses, everyone come in and give us the peanut butter that we really need. This year we're going to be up 14 million pounds, which is higher than last year.
Last year we received over 46,000 pounds of peanut butter.
Through the generosity of the company and the wonderful people I work for, we'd like to donate $2,560 to the Peanut Butter Brigade and for the benefit of the West Texas Food Bank.
Thank you to everyone who donated today. And if you didn't get a chance to donate, you can still donate your time and volunteer at the food bank. And in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, one local business is making a sudden impact by selling meals in the style of food from Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. The food truck known as Taqueria El Barunda's menu includes meals like tortas, tacos, hamburgers, quesadillas, and more. Though they just started their business less than 2 months ago, the owner, Alonso Jimenez, says they're bombarded with customers. Jimenez and his business partner had a Sunday cookout one day, and they made food in the style of Juarez, things like hamburgers and tortas with cheese, ham, peppers, chili, and carne asada, when Jimenez looked at his partner and had an idea.
And we looked at each other and we're like, man, like there's no restaurants here that are from Juarez, no food trucks, nothing like that. And that's when the idea came, like, hey, what do we start a food truck that represents Juarez?
Jimenez was also inspired by his childhood friend and curbside bistro owner, Chef Alejandro. He plans to turn his food truck into a restaurant throughout West Texas. And have you ever wanted to learn how to cut your own hair? The West Texas Hair Expo is coming to Odessa for the first time this Sunday at the MGM Fun Dome. The event will have fine arts classes, multiple barber competitions, and even a Halloween makeup competition. Local barbers will be able to showcase their skills to the community and network with other barbers and influencers from all over the state. The goal of the Hair Expo is to change the landscape of the hair industry in West Texas.
I'm trying to make the West Texas industry, barbering and cosmetology, blow up. I know a lot of people here do barbering. I know there's a lot of barbering shows out here, but I'm trying to show out and have something for the ladies and the cosmetology and the makeup artists.
The West Texas Hair Expo is this Sunday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the MGM Fun Dome. And now we turn to Capitol Hill for the latest on impeachment hearings into President Joe Biden. House Republicans are trying to tie Biden to his son Hunter's foreign business dealings, but Democrats are saying there is no evidence. Gloria Pazmino has the details from today's hearing.
The Committee on Oversight and Accountability will come to order.
House Republicans held their first hearing in the impeachment inquiry of President Joe Biden Thursday. It's the latest move in their effort to tie the president to his son's foreign business dealings.
The House Oversight and Accountability Committee has uncovered a mountain of evidence revealing how Joe Biden abused his public office for his family's financial gain.
But the mountain has yet to reveal itself. During the hours-long hearing, Republicans failed to provide any proof of any wrongdoing by the president. Instead, the committee heard from expert financial and constitutional witnesses who did not have direct knowledge of what House Republicans are claiming.
I am not here today to even suggest that there was corruption, fraud, or any wrongdoing. In my opinion, more information needs to be gathered.
Congressman Jamie Raskin, the top Democrat on the Oversight Committee, chastised his Republican colleagues for moving ahead with the hearing despite the lack of evidence.
The majority sits completely empty-handed with no evidence of any presidential wrongdoing.
And with the threat of a government shutdown looming, Raskin used a countdown clock as a reminder that in a matter of days, thousands of federal employees could go unpaid. a point other Democrats echoed.
This is an embarrassment. An embarrassment to the time and people of this country.
While some Republicans remain skeptical of the probe, others argue launching the inquiry will get them access to documents that reveal the president's alleged misconduct. In New York, Gloria Pasmino, CBS 7 First Alert News.
The White House has denounced the impeachment probe, releasing an updated memo that accused Republicans of, quote, basing their Biden impeachment stunt on false claims that have been repeatedly debunked. And now for a look at today's top headlines shown here in real time with real viewers on CBS7.com. See all of these stories and more by downloading our app or visiting our website at CBS7.com. And still ahead, the GOP held their second debate last night. We have a recap of the event coming up in just a few minutes. The second Republican presidential debate happened last night in California. Ed O'Keefe was at the debate last night, and he's in Los Angeles with more.
Donald Trump is missing in action. Donald Trump hides behind the walls of his golf clubs and won't show up here to answer questions like all the rest of us are up here to answer.
The frontrunner in the Republican presidential primary was absent for the second time from a GOP debate Wednesday night. And with Donald Trump's expanding lead in Iowa and New Hampshire, his campaign's already telling CBS News he won't attend the third debate in Miami in November.
You're ducking these things. No one up here is going to call you Donald Trump anymore. We're going to call you Donald Duck.
And at times grew contentious in Simi Valley between 7 candidates desperate for airtime.
Honestly, every time I hear you, I feel a little bit dumber for what you say.
Broadcast in 2 languages, it was chaotic in English, and even more so in Spanish.
We have all these questions.
Issues of dollars and cents like the looming government shutdown dominated the opening rounds.
I led House conservatives. We cut $100 billion out of the federal budget. It can be done.
The people in Washington are shutting down the American dream with their reckless behavior.
And with the auto workers' strike threatening to expand to more plants on Friday, candidates sympathized with workers and blamed President Biden.
Joe Biden doesn't belong on a picket line. He belongs on the unemployment line.
Why are those workers actually there? It's because of all of the spending that he has pushed through in the economy that's raised the inflation.
Joe Biden should not be on the picket line. He should be on the southern border working to close our southern border.
Contenders were asked about border security and the fentanyl drug crisis.
We have to use our own military to seal the Swiss cheese of a southern border, but we also have to be honest. there's a demand side problem in this country too, a mental health epidemic.
China is the one sending the fentanyl in the first place, and we will end all normal trade relations until China stops sending fentanyl.
And about tackling crime and gun violence.
These cities that we're talking about that you showed the videos of tonight, they have some of the strictest gun laws in the country. So we know that that's not what's working.
Then there was America's support for Ukraine amid the Russian invasion.
Our national vital interest is in degrading the Russian military. By degrading the Russian military, we actually keep our homeland safer.
We have to level with the American people on this issue. The reality is just because Putin's an evil dictator does not mean that Ukraine is good.
CBS News polling in the early states of Iowa and New Hampshire show most GOP voters are still considering multiple candidates despite Trump's double-digit lead. And according to some New Hampshire voters, these candidates still have more convincing to do.
I don't really think anyone's quite captured the American people's attention so far. Definitely not mine.
Now, the man repeatedly called out for criticism in the debate. President Biden is in Arizona today. The White House says he's giving his fourth major speech on the future of American democracy. Don't be surprised if he calls out some of the Republican candidates who were on stage last night. He also plans to honor his friend and colleague, the late Republican Senator John McCain. Ed O'Keefe, CBS News, Los Angeles.
We are going to be looking at some more hot temperatures, but then here comes a big change. We're going to talk about that coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, we've been dealing with a hot streak across the area, but it looks like temperatures are finally going to cool down a little bit next week. Here's what's going on. This ridge of high pressure has been really influencing our weather the whole summer, and that's continued into the fall season now, and looks like it's going to continue into the last few days of September. Setting up here from northern Mexico all the way through the state of Texas, you see a lot of dry air from this west and northwesterly flow in the upper levels right now. So not a lot of rain showers and thunder showers, but this trough of low pressure back across the western U.S. is going to kind of squash this high pressure down, and we're going to start to get under the influence of some disturbances rolling across and even a cold front in our forecast next week. So that's going to help out on temperatures, actually get them below where we should be this time of the year next week. Now, we did have a couple of isolated showers, thunder showers in the mountain areas and also across the coastal plains, southeast, south central Texas, but that's really been about it today. It's been a dry day across the state as temperatures currently after the 90s are starting to cool off across most locations out there. Now, here's a look at that West Texas Futurecast. Again, nothing but some mid to high level clouds streaming across overnight tonight, early into the morning hours. Add a little daytime heating in, and it looks like there's going to be a little disturbance, some scattered showers, thunder showers will develop across the mountain areas and into the Trans-Pecos and southeast of Mexico. This model continues to try to bring a little thunderstorm complex into the northwest Permian Basin before things calm down. We shall see. Might have to be dodging a shower, thunder shower here, Andrews, Seminole, over towards southeast of Mexico for area football games. But then as we look towards Saturday again, a few more isolated showers, thunder showers on the way. Quiet tonight across the area, down around 70 across the Permian Basin to wake up to before we get back into the mid-90s tomorrow. And I think it's going to brew up a few thunderstorms across parts of West Texas. Better chances of rain are on the way after Saturday as we'll see stronger disturbances roll across. And that cold front will really kind of increase the rain chances Tuesday into Wednesday and next week. And look what it does to temperatures. Cools them off down into the 80s, so a hint of fall on the way.
Still ahead, the Las Vegas Sphere opens this Friday. Hear from the world-famous rock band who will be performing the open act next on CBS7 News at 9. Take a look at this. One of the world's most unique music venues opens this Friday in Las Vegas with U2, one of the world's most famous rock bands, as the opening act. It's called the Sphere, and not even Las Vegas has seen anything like this. The $2.3 billion entertainment wonder features 1.2 million LED light bulbs, 160,000 speakers, and more than 260 million video pixels. U2's Bono and The Edge spoke with CBS's Anthony Mason about the privilege and pressure of being the first band on stage.
Are there days you wish you might have gone second?
Yesterday, horrible rehearsal.
Yeah.
I definitely.
It wasn't that bad.
You were great. You were great.
U2 is starting a 25-concert residency at the Sphere that runs through mid-December. Besides concerts, the new venue will also host sporting events, including boxing and mixed martial arts. And still ahead, a building block of life may exist inside the global ocean on Europa, one of Jupiter's icy moons. A building block of life may exist inside one of Jupiter's icy moons called Europa. Europa is one of several ocean worlds in our solar system where scientists believe life could exist. In findings published September 21st in the Journal of Science, 2 independent teams of astronomers used the James Webb Space Telescope to observe the frozen surface of Europa. Their analysis revealed an abundance of carbon dioxide in one specific region. While Europa may contain twice as much ocean water as Earth, scientists had long questioned whether Europa's ocean contained carbon and other chemicals necessary for life. Now they're planning 2 future missions to take a closer look at whether the icy ocean world has the potential to support life. It's really fascinating, Tom, but I do think it could have the potential in future years.
Well, that's always been the belief, the theory, and they're going to have those 2 new orbiters, Europa Clipper, and I think a European mission to actually take orbits of Europa and do a lot of measurements and mapping of everything. So a lot of unique science is ahead when it comes to those moons of not only Jupiter, but also in Saturn too. There's some icy moons there. Anyway, though, back towards West Texas, nothing icy in this forecast, but temperatures a little cooler thanks to a cold front that'll be arriving next week. We just got to get through these 90s here over the next couple of days. Another added effect is going to be more rain showers and thunderstorms in our forecast with that front middle part of next week.
Thanks for watching CBS 7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW.